Evening, people. Evening, people. I left the house at 2-0. On the way down from the staircase, I heard a little roar on the. Well, I left the TV on whilst I was getting quickly getting changed. Came down, heard a little roar. I thought, you know what? That's not a roar of a home crowd cheering a goal. I looked at the TV and they were showing the replay of the brainless moment. The brainless moment. But I thought, you know what? We're done. This team is done mentally, and we're not going to cope. Got into the car, got Gene on the phone. He was watching the game at home, and it was 2-2 before I even started the car. It was 3-2 when I got to the place where I arrived, and then 3-3. I got a notification where I was. Gene knew where I was, and we couldn't do an instant reaction. But I got home. I was planning to watch the game and then go in tonight. Then my phone went berserk. Gene sends me a video from Ellen Road saying this is a Salah goodbye. I'm thinking, what the hell is he on about? But when I saw Salah's photograph with the journalist, I didn't even recognize the journalist, but apparently we found out later that it was from Norwegian TV. There was a lot of them. There's always is when Salah walks out of a stadium. And civil war has broke out at Liverpool. Turmoil, crisis, all these words, war, because that's what it is. Arne Slot with Mohamed Salah. And you know what? It might not even be just Arne Slot versus Mohamed Salah. It sounds a lot more serious. It sounds a lot bigger than that. And here we are on an emergency stream at 2-0 around about, I don't know what even time it was. I got up and I thought, you know what? For once, we're going to enjoy a weekend. 2-3 hours later, we're on the biggest. We won't be involved in a bigger emergency stream. Most probably bigger emergency stream than this is if Liverpool ever get relegated. But this is massive. And you know what? The irony is, I think this is just the start of the civil war. This is just start of to and fro from both parties. Because who is involved? We know Mohamed Salah is involved. Who else is involved? Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards. What is Mohamed Salah is he saying tonight? We have to do so much reading in between the lines in some of the quotations provided tonight. And you know what? I've not even gone through all of them. So we will break down every single word of Mohamed Salah. But that's all we have tonight. We will get the club story. We will get the story from Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. And I'm sorry. I have to apologize to Avi because he was landing in Vegas, but here he is on the way to his hotel in a taxi, and he's given us his time. So I apologize for Avi, but you had to be on tonight. It was a must. Make yourselves feel comfortable as possible. And if you think about the Salah talk is not going to be heartbreaking tonight, we threw a game away. We threw 3 points away at Ellen Road tonight. And if we have time, if we have the energy, we might even look back at the game. But I don't think we're going to look back at the game today, boys. I really don't think so. But I'm going to go to Chin. I'm going to go to Chin. Chin, your instant thoughts about what is just the club's in turmoil. I can't put it any other way, Chin. The club is in turmoil. Chin, it looks like he can't talk. Ben, I'm going to come to you.
Go to Ben first.
The club's in turmoil, Ben. The club's in turmoil. Talk to me, my friend.
It doesn't look good, does it? It doesn't look good at all. After what was, a half decent performance at Leeds, where we look to be, cruising to 3 points, it completely collapses again after, recent games where we just can't seem to buy a win for love nor money, no matter what we do or how we play, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. But then obviously, that noise is completely overshadowed by Salah doing his interview after it. And, it asks a huge number of questions. Why he's chosen to do it now, why he's chosen to do it in the way that he's done. I just summarize it quite simply in my way, is that if you have a legend of the club and our best player for the last 8 years by a country mile, give and take Alisson and Van Dijk, but I think he has to be above those two. He's the greatest player that we've had on our books for the last 8 years. Then you leave him out for the first time in Premier League successive games 3 times in a row for the first time in his career when he's fit. Then you're going to expect questions to be asked. And he wasn't brought on as a sub either today, and he wasn't brought on in the West Ham game. I don't think either, was he? So you're going to ask questions. So either there's only 2 possible answers for me. Either the club have been extremely naive in misjudging the thought process of Salah, that he was just going to stay quiet and not come out and say anything, or the other thought process is the club are fully aware of this and the plan is to sell him in January. Because to me now, looking at it, and you obviously question every decision that's been made over the last 6 to 12 months. Everybody was desperate for him to sign a new deal last year because he had the season of his life and he was magnificent. But he signed this new deal, and now it looks on the face of it that they haven't signed it with a view to him replicating that form of last year for the next 2 years. They've signed it potentially with a view to protecting his value, to then selling him maybe in 12 months' time, with a year left on his contract. But I wonder whether or not his form has dipped so significantly, or the relationship, as he said, is broken down so significantly that they've thought, right, okay, we'll pull the plug and we'll sell him in January. And the only realistic way that he will leave in January is if he's not playing. Because if he's still playing in the team week in, week out, why would he leave? Why would he want to leave? Because he's on an astronomical salary and he's at a top league in the world, and he's in a top club in the world. And he still believes in his heart of hearts that he can perform at this level. And I've got no doubt in my mind that he probably can, but just probably not to the extent that he's done in the last 12 years and the last few years, because he has been on a decline over the last few years, but he's still Salah and he's still capable of greatness and he's still brilliant. So there's a huge sort of like dilemma here, is how do you treat your greatest player for the last 8 years? But at the same time, the world, time waits for nobody. And there's a scenario where it's the start of the end for Salah. And what is the easiest way to end his career at Liverpool? I don't think there was ever going to be a situation where Salah was just going to step onto the pitch, wave everyone off, and then go and sign for Saudi Arabia, because he thinks he's at this level probably longer than what Liverpool do. But at the same time, unfortunately, there's money and there's finance and there's business behind this. So, and it's all just come out in the wash now tonight. And it's a really sad state of affairs. And I sincerely hope that, as I say, the greatest player that we've had for the last 8 years doesn't walk out the back door like some other players have over the previous few years, who are nowhere near the level of Salah. And I'm talking about Gini Wijnaldum, Jordan Henderson, a couple of other players who have not had that send-off and not had that privilege to be able to be adored by the fans. And that's the minimum, the absolute minimum that he would deserve. But looking at it from the other side of it, he has to take some responsibility, because I think the comments at this moment in time don't help anybody, if I'm being perfectly honest. He's chosen to make that statement and have that conversation. Would he have had that conversation if he'd have gone on and won that game? I don't know. He chooses his times to speak very, very strategically, I think. And I think he's been advised or said that, they will consider offers for him in January. And now he's looking to try and turn things around and manufacture the situation. But the reality is, if this folds and he gets his own way, and this is about a slot out scenario, then you're basically encouraging a player power scenario. And I don't want that at Liverpool Football Club, because as much as I'll say it again, Salah is the greatest player we've had for the last 8 years. He's not bigger than the club, and that's that.
Avi, I'm going to read your tweet out 27 minutes ago. You put it on a public platform, so with all due respect, I can mention it here. Salah has tried this before. West Ham during Klopp's final season. Yeah, I want the king gone from my fucking club. Sack him off. You're on mute, I think.
I don't want this. I don't want this club to become a player power club. We've seen it at United post Fergie. and it's bitten them in the arse and some after even 10 years. Salah, look, did he deserve to be dropped against West Ham? Maybe so. Sunderland gets a half, second half, didn't do anything. Today, he was nowhere to be seen. There's obviously been a breakdown in communication between him, Slot, and obviously he thinks that there's an agenda now of wanting him out of the club. Asim, sometimes you've got to do the best for the club. Maybe not short term, but long term. And if that means selling Salah in January for 50 million, and we'll definitely get that from one of the Saudi clubs. He is going to be 34 next July. He has shown signs of decline. Then honestly, there should be an amicable way where he departs his football club. He deserves the greatest send-off, Asim. He deserves a better send-off than Jurgen Klopp. But what he did today, coming out publicly, saying what he said, that wasn't needed. He didn't need to come out with that nonsense. He knows the situation is a tricky one and a severe one right now, where the manager's head is being called for by many fans, by the majority of fans now. I think everyone's turned after this result. If no one hasn't, then I'll be very surprised. So yeah, maybe my use of language was uncalled for, and obviously that's for theatrics and whatnot on Twitter. But for me, the only outcome is Salah to leave the football club in a respectful way.
One second. We talk, Savi, it's easy to sit here and say Salah should leave in a respectful way, right? Look, I saw them comments and I thought, I read it first time, I read it again, and I've been reading what's been filtering through, especially over the last half an hour, 45 minutes. It's easy to say Salah's done this wrong. There's tweets going around that Salah went to Arne Slot and asked him, give me an explanation, and he didn't get one. What do you expect him to do? Leaving out your greatest ever player for the last 8 seasons, yeah? Who's literally delivered you the title. You can say what you want. Mohamed Salah is the player who delivered us that title last season because he's the player that gave us a generational season. He delivered us, and then we went through a revamp. Liverpool went through a revamp. He's played with 6 different right backs this season, supposedly that was supposed to be playing at right back. He's played it with around 6 already this season. You leave him out in the first game. You leave him out in the second game. Yeah? For Arne Slot to leave him out 3 games running, you're asking for it. You're literally asking for it from the greatest player of Liverpool. Avi, he wasn't going to sit back. Mohamed Salah was not going to sit back and take whatever Arne Slot or the hierarchy are doing. This is the greatest player for Liverpool, especially for me, over the Premier League era, yeah? He's given you everything, right? Year upon year, minutes, time, whatever. He's on an astronomical wage. I can accept that. Liverpool pay him well. They do pay him well. And I've got to give Liverpool credit for this. We pay him well. But what you have to understand is what is happening right now. Has Mohamed Salah played well? No, he hasn't. Has Cody Gakpo played well this season?
We're not talking about Gakpo. We're not talking about Gakpo. That's an isolated situation. That's another situation. Do not comment on another situation.
No. I mentioned because this is
just mention this. Just mention this. Don't mention any other players.
One at a time. One at a time.
Yeah. Let's go one at a time. Otherwise, we'll lose it.
When you've got Cody Gakpo, when he's looking and he's seeing Cody Gakpo, who's been fucking shit all season, play week in, week out. When he sees Alexis McAllister playing week in, week out, and there's no reason why he's thinking they've been shit. Mohamed Salah, who's given you 8 years of greatness, went through a barren patch this season where he hasn't played that well. We all know he hasn't played that well. But them guys are starting week in, week out. And Mohamed Salah now has missed 3 games in a row, right? Hasn't even come on for 2 of them games. There's an issue there. There's an underlying issue. And you have to understand that there has to be something there for Mohamed Salah to act the way he acted. He went all out against the manager. He went all out against, he literally went against the club. And I can understand it in terms of a business sense. You've got to make a decision. I get that. But when you're talking about your greatest ever player, there has to be respect. You have to do things in a way that, you know what, this guy's given us service. We given it service. He's the greatest player to have played for us. And you go about it in a certain way and a certain manner. How Arne Slot has gone about this. When I mentioned Arne Slot, it might even be the hierarchy. How the way they've gone about it over the last 3 games, you think this is going to do good? Salah coming out is doing good. You think the other players can't see that? You're telling me Van Dijk was playing basketball 2 weeks ago because he was happy with what's happening. You're saying players coming out, some of them have already given up. He's already lost the dressing room. When you treat a Mohamed Salah like this, other players see how you've treated your greatest ever footballer. They're not stupid. They see that. So it has the adverse effect on the other players. It's easy to say, oh, Salah's, because Salah's done it, it has a bad adverse effect. No, mate. The players have already given up on Arne Slot. We've been saying this for weeks now, that this team's been shit. This team's been shit. But to point the finger at one player to say, oh, he's been shit, yeah, get rid of him when he's given you 8 years of service where he's produced every single season, yeah, and to say, oh, he's had a bad 11 games, let's get rid of him. I don't buy that. I don't accept that.
Does loyalty matter, Avi?
Not in the world of Edwards and Hughes. Well, in Edwards, we know how ruthless he wanted to be during Klopp's tenure with the Henderson, Ox overstaying, Milner overstaying. He wanted to make changes after that title-winning team.
No. These are the people that gave him a 450 grand a week contract, Avi.
I think they had no choice but to give him that contract after that generational season, Asim. They had no choice. If it was any other season, I think they were happy to let Mohamed Salah leave this football club. Michael Edwards wants to evolve or take this team to the next phase, and unfortunately, you asked me a question. So let me answer that.
Carry on.
Unfortunately, Salah is not the future of this football club anymore. Neither is Virgil van Dijk, and neither will be Alisson in a couple of years' time. So, are they fast tracking everything? Maybe. Is that good for the club? I don't know. But Salah initiated things today by doing that interview today. He didn't need to. He didn't need to. I'm sorry, but we beat West Ham. He comes on Wednesday, gets his opportunity second half. He hooked Gakpo because he was critical of Gakpo. So it wasn't this, oh, he's Gakpo's son. He was critical of Gakpo and said he wasn't winning his one-on-ones. Salah came on. Just 2 seconds and you can land. Salah comes on and he shit the bed against Sunderland. He was absolutely rubbish. I'm going to be careful here with my tone of language because I am in a public place. But Salah was rubbish. Just like he's been all season, just like Gakpo has. But Gakpo has a bit of leverage because he did score an assist in the West Ham game. Albeit West Ham, I totally get that. But there are other factors. Guys, listen, I'm not happy about this situation. And again, I am not happy that our laundry is out in public yet again. And it seems that where Michael Edwards goes, or when Michael Edwards is involved, or the hierarchy, there's a knack for this. Look, all I said was against West Ham, Salah was very petulant. We know he hates being dropped. He hates not being on that pitch. And I love that, his desire. I love that passion about him. But today, he should have just had a bit of humility, gone to the AFCON, and maybe during the AFCON, he could have done an interview there. To do it straight after today, I think that's bad taste.
Can I just come in about the explanation around Gakpo? So I totally am with you. In by looking at the face of it, you'd say, well, why could you drop Salah for 3 games in a row when we're still continuing to play Gakpo? Because Gakpo's been really bad, and I would want him dropped as well. But my logic behind that sort of explanation is that it's all about positional wise. Now, Salah has been dropped for Szoboszlai, essentially, because Szoboszlai is playing in that position now, or essentially is close to that position, and he's been our player of the season. There is nobody else. If Salah had been dropped and Rio was playing on the right, or Chiesa was playing on the right, then I think that would be even more sort of like indicative against him. But the fact that with Gakpo, he's playing him, that's his position. He's on the left. He's a left-sided player. So if you suddenly say, right, okay, let's drop Gakpo and start playing Salah on the right, on the left, then to me that just changes everything.
But you talk about positions, man. Szoboszlai he plays that position for his country.
Yeah, but he's a multifunctional position player, isn't he? Whereas Salah's never played on the left.
I know, he doesn't need to play on the left. Szoboszlai could play on the left. What Szoboszlai is doing from the right, effectively playing as the inverted winger, arguably he's probably better playing that position from the left to come inside, because then he's got more of a goal threat from that left half.
But then haven't we been saying over the last few weeks that our front 3 press is so bad that if you're taking Gakpo out of it, who actually is one of the ones who's got legs, who can actually run.
Gakpo's got legs, Ben.
Well, he's got more legs than Salah. He's got more legs than Salah in the press.
One at a time.
Salah's twice the player.
Yeah, I get that, but we're talking about a press now specifically, and Salah is not twice the player this season.
He's still the twice player. He's still twice.
But he's not this season, not this. I'm not being funny, but it's hindsight's a beautiful thing. But every single one of us, no, we wouldn't have come on if we'd have won this game tonight. Nobody was coming on this stream and saying, "I can't believe Salah wasn't playing." Not one of us. And if you say that you would,
I
you're
agree.
lying to yourselves.
But we didn't though, Ben. The truth. Okay, it's easy.
No, we didn't. We didn't. So
Ben,
therefore,
it's
Salah's
easy to say
chosen
that.
to this moment.
It's 1 second. It's very easy to say that, you know what, if we won today, everything was all rosy. No, it wasn't. It hasn't been rosy for 2.5 months. That's the truth. And calling it, I'm not going to listen to me. And when it concerns Cody Gakpo, the truth is, listen, I thought he was fucking shit today. Yeah, I thought he was fucking dog shit. I'll be honest with you, from his performance today. But yeah, it's okay for him. It was okay for him to week after week put up bullshit performances and give us absolutely nothing. Yeah.
And it's okay for
McAllister.
That Van Dijk should have been subbed. It should have been
3 games. But my issue is, people just saying why. What Avi said was, why did he come out? The issue is he's missed 3 games in a row. When your talisman, your greatest ever player, has missed 3 games in a row and hasn't started in 2 of the games, what do you expect him to do?
I agree.
Especially when you expect it, when he knows what's happening in the background and he's feeling like these guys are taking the piss out of me. Man's gonna come out and speak.
So there's two things here. There's two things here. Gine, are you upset because of the manner the club have conducted themselves, or are you again aggrieved that he's not been starting games?
Okay, let me.
There's two things.
Two things. Number one, when when we won against West Ham, Asim asked me the question: do we go with the first team? Me and you, Avi, what did we say? Yes, we go with the same team that played against Sunderland. I agreed with you. I did not want Salah to start against Sunderland. Yeah. When I saw what happened in the Sunderland game, especially in the first half, you realize that, okay, defensively with Gomez we're sound, but up front, Avi, we're light. We need more in terms of attacking threat. I wanted Salah in yesterday's team. I wanted Salah to start, but 100% I wanted Salah to start today's game. I did. I wanted him to start today. He didn't start. Okay. He didn't start. But then if you're not going to start, Avi, get a result then. Regardless of it being Kanate's fault, I don't give a flying fuck how the mistakes happen. When you make it, you're the manager and the team have to go and get a result when you're going to leave out a player like Mohamed Salah. And again, we didn't get the result, Avi. So that's the issue. My issue with him. And another thing, Avi, is, look, for me, there's ways of going about it. Mohamed Salah, look, we all know deep down that, you know what, last season he had a generational season. He was not going to be as good. I knew he wasn't going to be as good this season. We all knew it, because there was no way he could have done what he did last season. But there's a way of doing things. There's a manner of doing things. If they wanted to let it roll, then maybe he should have started today. That's the truth. He should have started. If I'm honest with you, I wanted Salah to start. But there's a way of managing him. He had a few more weeks left. He would have fucked off to AFCON in another week's time. If he started today and he was okay against, played another game, he was in another week's time, he was going to go to AFCON, and they could have made a decision and said what's going to happen on him. But the truth is, Salah's come out because he's really pissed off with how everything's unfolded around him. That's the truth.
Avi, it's got a feeling of the club. Like, let's the most anti-Salah fans in the world, they will say he's the root cause of the problem. He doesn't deserve a minute. Is he much of a problem? And has he been the root cause of the problem in terms of Liverpool's performances, that he only deserved 45 minutes in the last 3 games, in which 3 games we, apart from the West Ham game, we were chasing 45 minutes. So do you think this is, we have to expect this? One of the greatest players to, ever live or ever play and ever wear the red shirt. Do you think it's naive of the club, whether it's a slot decision, whether it's a Edwards and Hughes decision? Do you think it's naive that this was just gonna he's just gonna go to the AFCON without a reaction? Is it deliberate? Do you think the club deliberately worked out? Listen, we've decided, we drew the line, we gave him a contract, but at the end of the day, we have to move away. In terms of how Liverpool performances are, we've all sat here for the last 2-3 months and said, look, Wirtz and Salah doesn't work. Wirtz and Isak and Salah doesn't work. And they've just made a massive decision in the last month or so, saying, you know what, we've got him under 2 years. We can't have him play out his contract. We have to make a decision. And here it is. He's not playing. If he thinks he's going to go to Saudi, then so be it, because we want him to go. That is the difference. We want him to go to Saudi. But at the end of the day, did they expect him to leave easily? Is he talking about being let down, thrown under a bus? Come on. He's not going to come out and talk about these sort of things. Surely they've had conversations, Avi. Why aren't you backing the legend that's been here for 89 years? Do you think he's lying?
It's not a question of whether Salah's lying or not. Asim, against West Ham, we were comfortable.
No, it is a question.
Today, we were very, very comfortable until the defender that I've been saying since 8 February, March, shouldn't be at the club. Shouldn't be at the club. Not even a reserve, but shouldn't be at the club. Cost us that game. Because then once that Ellen Road crowd got rapturous, once they got one back, you knew then it was inevitable that they were going to either draw or even bloody win it. Yeah. So that aside, I think those 2 out of the 3 games we've looked very comfortable without Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, 2 teams are playing 18th, 19th position.
The Sunderland game, Gina, I totally understand. He didn't start. Sunderland, he comes on second half. He doesn't produce anything. He did not produce anything. So on the pitch, he's not produced, whether he came on Wednesday or not, or whether today or Saturday, that doesn't really matter. I don't believe he's lying. And Asim, I think there's an element. And look, unfortunately, football, especially with these boys, it's run like a business. They're probably thinking, forget end of the summer, let's try and ease him out by subtly not playing him. I think he alluded to it as well. Look, my relationship with the manager has broken down, but there are other factors. I believe someone does not want me at the club.
Yeah.
I think those someone, we know who it is. It's the recruitment team. So they're waiting for a £50 million bid from Saudi. They're waiting for Saudi to come in January and they will send him off. I don't agree with that, by the way, because like I said, he deserves the greatest send-off in many a year. He deserves a bigger send-off than Jurgen. And I never thought I would say that, but he does. But unfortunately, and this is the ugly situation, he might not get it.
Yeah.
Look, people might think I'm a Salah FC. It's not about me just being Salah FC. The way I see it is when somebody's produced for you and gave you the greatest ever season last year, and 12, 13, 14 games into this season, we're just saying, oh, he's fucking shit, and we've got fucking Kara saying his legs have gone. Is that what it is? When you know there's a whole team that's dysfunctioning. It's
one thing. Do not mention Kara. Do not mention Carragher. All jokes aside, do not mention Carragher.
Okay, forget Carragher.
Because Carragher has personal hate. He has personal hate. Personal hate.
Okay, fine. Okay, personal hate. Guy that's giving you the greatest ever season 4 months, is it what we now 6 months ago, yeah? Gave you the greatest ever season. Fast forward 4 months, Liverpool have gone and done a revamp, brought in all these new players. This right back's gone. All of a sudden, Salah's not the Salah ki becho. Salah's the problem. The fuck are you on about? Salah's the problem. The guy's been banging goals left, right, and center for you for 8 years. You've just literally changed the whole team, brought in the striker, a 10, all that type of stuff, playing 6 different right backs, and you're saying Salah's the problem. And I accept Salah's not being the same. I'm the same guy. 3 weeks ago, I didn't want him to play because I wanted us to shore it up. But it's easy to just point the finger at him, make him the scapegoat that he's saying, I feel like I've been made a scapegoat out of. So I understand where he's coming from.
So this is what I will say, Asim and Jean and Ben. Look, we know the club has mouthpieces. We know Joyce is one of them. And he has a close relationship with Edwards. Obviously, they will try and unsettle the player. It's a ploy. It's worked for United for many years. Arsenal, even with the Aubameyang stuff, with the Ozil stuff, they will portray a legend or a player who's contributed so much at this football club, but will portray him in this side of an ugly side to say, look, he wants out. And look, maybe he had no option but to come out in the media today and say, look, I want out, or this is the situation, they're not playing him. I do not blame Mohamed Salah. I blame the timing of him releasing the stuff that he did.
Yeah, that's what.
So when did you want him to come out with it?
If he was very aggrieved by it, Gene.
Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean you agree with the timing? He bloody gave the manager 3 games. If he came out against West Ham, you would have had a problem. If he came out against Sunderland, you would have had a problem. If he came out today, you would have had a problem. He's bloody going to AFCON in a couple of days. When is the time right?
It wasn't tonight after the full time. It wasn't tonight, Asim. No matter what you say,
Okay,
it wasn't tonight.
Tomorrow morning then.
It wasn't tonight. It could have been during AFCON. He could have just said, look, and they get interviewed every single day when they're not playing, whether he's representing Egypt and whatnot. They could have interviewed him there, and he could have come out and said this. Today, he didn't even need to go to the mix zone or whatever it was to release that thing. Today, the timing was bad, Asim. No matter what you say,
Avi, maybe he's telling us-
it's an ugly situation for the football club. It's
maybe
not right.
Avi told us today that Brighton might be his last game. What if he's literally letting it all out there to let us, me, you, and everybody else know that Brighton home is my last game for Liverpool Football Club? What if that's the case? He's come out because he said, what if he's going in January? So that Brighton home game is his last game. So he's letting us know. Because it didn't look
the
like
club might have
Salah
said the club might have had the conversation weeks ago with him, mightn't he?
Yeah, and he's come out with it now, and then Brighton is his last game. He's let us know, and he even said, "I've spoken to my family. I know he meant goodbye for the AFCON, but it didn't seem like it was just an AFCON goodbye. He's waving at the fans. That's waving at the fans today. Isn't a goodbye for I'm going AFCON. I'll see you in 4 or 5 weeks, Avi. So when do you want him to come out when he's fucking left the club?
You know what? You know what I believe. I think the club have been entertaining offers for Mohamed Salah for the last couple of weeks.
Good on them. That's what I'll say. If they think they can get 50
Is
million,
this how you get rid of your legend?
it's
You
a money
just
business.
talk about,
Asim, it's a
ending.
footballing business. It's
End of Jurgen Klopp.
a business
And then
opportunity,
5 minutes
Asim.
later, you say that.
It's a business opportunity. What do you want me to say?
What
do you want me to say?
How you deal with it? When we bought Gio from Valencia, we were in negotiations with Alisson. Alisson, we're buying a new keeper. Do you approve? That's how you deal with a legend. So don't give me that bullshit. Why is Mohamed Salah getting different treatment? Speak the truth. Tell me.
It's definitely not.
Why do you think he's getting different treatment?
There is definitely not an agenda here, Asim. Do not go down.
Why do you think he's getting different treatment?
Asim, you are smarter than that. Please, you are smarter than that. You are way smarter than that. Do not make that an agenda. Do not make that an agenda, though. I tell you that now. Do not make that an agenda.
You tell us, Asim. You tell us exactly what you're thinking.
He just said it now. He said it. Sorry, Harry Kane. If he's not scoring for 10 games, it's Harry Kane. He needs a team to work around him. You go see Mohamed Salah underlying numbers. Let me land. You go see Mohamed Salah's underlying numbers. He's still top 3, top 4 for creating chances.
So why did he sign a new deal then? Why did he sign a new deal for Liverpool?
Why is he signing a new deal?
If we're that negative towards him, does he love the club though? Does he love the club?
You're questioning Mohamed Salah's love for the club. The guy could have gone anywhere in the world. Over the years, he's rejected Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Milan, you name it. He's rejected them, and you're telling me you question the love and the credibility of Mohamed Salah.
So wait a sec. Let me finish. So if he loves us so much, then why is he doing what he's doing now? Then does he just
because he's hurting? He's hurting.
Yeah, but there's ways and means of doing it, and
there's ways and means. So if the club is going behind his back, trying to fuck him off to Saudi Arabia, that's a good way. It's a good way.
No, it's not. Avi's right. It is business.
Avi just said, good on him.
He's way this way.
Avi just said, good on him.
Asim, look, guys. 1 minute. No. A little bit of calmness here, guys. First of all, Asim, there is no you're saying that maybe Hughes and Edwards have got links in Saudi and they're flirting the idea of him going there. Let me tell you, had he not signed that contract, had he not begged for that contract, $450 a week, which now seems stupid to give him that. It's Aubameyang part 2. It's
begged for the contract.
It's Aubameyang part 2. I'm sorry. All I will say is, if he did not sign that contract, he was going to go Saudi anyway, Asim.
No, he could have gone to any club in the world.
Oh, he was nowhere going to Real Madrid or Barcelona, was he? He wasn't going to Bayern Munich. He was going Saudi. He was going Saudi. No, don't play that game. Do not play that game. If he hadn't signed that contract, he's going Saudi.
Yes, TK, I can accept that. But he begged for the contract. Salah begged for the contract. You were fucking begging for a league title all your life. He fucking delivered you one. So chill the fuck out, bro. You were begging for a title. Please, Liverpool, win a fucking title. Mohamed Salah gave you one. Now shut the fuck up. Asim, carry on.
But then Slot give us a title. We were begging for a title.
Well, that title was the truth is, Ben, we can sugarcoat it.
That's an agenda then, Gene. That's an agenda.
The truth is, the title, you can sugarcoat it as much as you want. Yes, Salah won a title. Salah won a title. Salah gave you a title. There's a difference. Salah delivered that title because we were not getting that title without Salah doing what he did. No chance.
We weren't getting that title without the rest of the team either. And that's
I can accept that, but without when you don't have the catalyst, Argentina were not winning the World Cup with that fucking Lionel Messi.
Yeah, but there's always a
This
star
is what I'm
player
trying
in
to
every
say.
team, isn't there?
This is what I'm trying to say to you. Sometimes there's yes, of course you need 11 players to win a title, but you have to look at the catalyst, the main person, why you do what you did. The guy had a generational season. It wasn't a normal season what he did. What he did was unprecedented. It was literally unprecedented what he did. So that was the reason why you won it.
Yeah, and we keep on talking about credits in the bank. So how long do we just play him week in, week out, every single week until he can't run?
Every week. He's playing McAllister every week.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but there's no other. All right. Well, at the end of the day, I think he's doing it because he said the same thing about Endo and Gravenberg the other week. Why does Endo never get a game? He said because he plays in Gravenberg's position, and Gravenberg hasn't been poor enough for him to drop him. So there's a positional. You don't just suddenly have like 5 strikers, and then it's like if one of the strikers can't get in the team. Oh, yeah, we'll play him at left back. So Ronaldo can't get in the team because we've got 3 great strikers up there. We'll play him at left back just to accommodate them in the team. It's like you're not just going to suddenly start moving positions of players. That's Gakpo's position. If he's not good enough, then someone else who plays on the left should go into that position, in my opinion. But the people who he's got
has he done that though? Why hasn't he taken?
No, he hasn't, because he doesn't believe that Chiesa and Rio are good enough to challenge him. Salah's got no competition on that right side at all. So the assumption was he was going to play every single week, but he's been so poor that they've gone and put Szoboszlai in there, not someone like someone rubbish.
That's been the case for 9 years. It hasn't troubled you then for 9 years.
No, because he's been delivering, but he hasn't delivered this season.
So if
you think Mohamed Salah is the biggest problem in this team?
No, I don't. I'm not saying, and you can't twist it round by saying that, but you can't drop everybody.
You would have Mohamed Salah out of the team and Cody Gakpo in the team. Is that what you're telling me? Because I've just told you.
Because we're not comparing him to Salah and Gakpo.
No, because I'm telling you,
because I wouldn't have Konate in the team either. He'd be first out. There's no one else.
What I'm saying is, if it isn't about Mohamed Salah or Cody Gakpo, I'm saying is what the role that Szoboszlai is playing right now on paper, he can play that role on paper on the left-hand side. So you can have Szoboszlai on the left, coming in with the overlapping left back with Kirkes, and you can have Bradley and Salah. So
why didn't he drop him after 2 games then?
Who?
Salah. Why? If he was poor after 3, 4, 5 games, they've waited till now to drop him because it's got so bad, and they've thought, he hasn't got the energy, he hasn't got the legs. But the cynic in us all knows that if there's interest and people have come knocking and saying, listen, is Salah not really where you thought he was at? Is he in decline more than you thought? And that is possible, by the way. They kind of made that assumption that he was going to be okay based on the data, and then now the season started and he has fallen off a cliff, and then someone higher up the food chain has said, right, okay, the plan was in the back of our heads, we'll maybe sell him next summer once Isaac's had 12 months to bed in, and we'll get, 30-40 million with 1 season left. But then all of a sudden, if there's an offer of 80-90 million, something ridiculous on the table from a Saudi club in January, they're like, well, if he's in the team, he's not going to go. Whereas they're basically forcing the hand of Salah with the looks of it. That's what it looks like to me now, because he's definitely not justifiably the only one you could sub out to the team. There's any one of them could be benched at the moment because they've all been rubbish, apart from Szoboszlai, I would argue. But I think Avi's right. I think they're opportunistic and they're looking at the business and they're thinking, if we can get 70-80 million for him, then we'll take it.
When we mentioned the numbers of 70-80 million, them days, you're not getting that.
Maybe not.
You're definitely getting 50. You'll get 50
maximum.
I think you might. I think
take it. I would take it.
I think it's going to be less than that.
Would you both sell him in January, or would you want to keep him? Would you both sell him in January, or
as he is now?
I would want guarantees Arne Slot is sacked before I even think about what happened to Mohamed Salah. I believe Mohamed
so much bias. Asim, there's so much bias in you. So much bias.
I let you bark for half an hour now. You listen to me. I would want Arne Slot to fuck off out of the club because I back a legend. You think who's got more credit? Who's got more credit in the club? And from us, you ask yourself. Mohamed Salah on law. Who's got the more benefit?
I agree. He has.
Who's got more
But
credit? So what I want
agree.
is an interim manager to come and put an arm around our shoulder who won us the league. That's
so what
what
if they
I
do
want.
something? What if they do something mad and bring in Stevie G as an interim manager and he leaves Salah on the bench?
He won't. Stevie G, going by what Stevie G doesn't even think it's a crisis. Only a couple of weeks ago, let's be honest. But when you listen to Stevie G talk about Mohamed Salah, yet in the last 8 years, you know there's genuine love and respect, mutual respect between the two players. I'm not the biggest fan of Stevie G, the manager, the coach. But you know what? Hypothetically speaking, if he comes in, he is the guy who's got mutual, genuine respect for the manager, for Mohamed Salah. And you know what? He'll put arm around his shoulder.
All right. Let me
believe in him, and he'll play through him as well. He'll provide him.
Okay.
Carragher comes out with these comments about he's lost his legs. You think a guy who's just had an all-timer season has just randomly lost his legs in the last 3 years? Something's, fundamentally wrong here. We're not getting... Even now with his kind of season, Mohamed Salah is still 3rd or 4th in the underlying numbers of chances created. This guy hasn't taken a man on a consistent basis for 2-3 years, Ben.
But there was no argument
that he should be dropped
a few weeks ago, was there?
If you want to talk about Mohamed Salah losing his legs, he's lost his legs for 3 years.
But we've been in these chats over the last few weeks and said Salah's been dog shit and he should be dropped. We've all said that. We have all said that, haven't we?
We have. I agree. I said take Salah. I'm not going to sit here and defend something that I've not done. Yes, I agree. He should have been dropped, and he was dropped. But Ben, when you look at to drop him 3 games in a row, and I've seen the way we've played over the last 3 games. Yeah, 3 games in a row.
But you're talking as if it's changed in previous games that when he started, it hasn't.
What?
He's been dog shit then as well.
Who?
Even when he starts, you're saying that, you've got enough evidence from the last 3 games. No, you said you've got enough evidence of the last 3 games. You wanted him dropped against West Ham, dropped against Sunderland. So which one is it, Gene? 2 out of the 3 games, you wanted him dropped. You wanted him to start today. And what would he have done today? Marat Takta, he would have done today. That's what he would have done today. He would have done tact. He would have done tact today. He would have done tact.
Did I not put him on our team? Yes, I did. So shut the fuck up.
You would have done nothing. You would have done nothing today. Nothing.
I'm not going to get into a throw and throw with you, Avi. I'm not going to get into a throw and throw with you. Asim, do the supers.
Okay, take a breather, boys. There's 1,100 people watching in here. There'll be plenty of newcomers.
We did say it could be a big one, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. He did.
Sell him.
Half time. 42 minutes.
Half time, yeah. Make some changes at half time.
Smash a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new people. Race to 20k. Thank you so much, Sean. Always supporting the channel. Thank you so much. And you know what? Whether you're back in slot, back in the manager, I understand what Ben and Avi are saying. Look, there is a question here, Gene, regardless of how passionate we've been in the defense of Salah, that there's a question of is Salah bigger than the club? That is what the question is, but it's
Nobody's
a lot deeper
bigger than the club. Yeah, we know that's a silly question. Nobody's bigger than the club.
It's going to come up, isn't it, Gene? Let's be honest.
People can. Salah can never be an ounce of what this football club is. That's the truth. But I'm not going to allow one of your greatest ever players to be treated like shit.
Yes, that's what I meant. It's a lot deeper.
Yeah, no, I agree. You could easily say is nobody's bigger than the club, but there is a conversation to say, is he bigger than Slot at this moment in time? And I think that's probably part of the debate. Sorry, Asim, carry on.
If it comes down to it, just before you read the super story, if it comes down to Salah or Slot, rightly or wrongly, the club will back Slot over this. Just letting you know that now.
Just remember that Real Madrid game. Do you really think all the fans were backing Brendan Rodgers when he dropped Stevie G? Just jog your memories then.
It doesn't matter because they were both gone anyway within 6 months.
I know, but it does matter at that point. At that point, people were going for the manager. Why? Because it was Stevie G. Sometimes greatness is an exception.
Yeah, but
Brendan didn't win a league, though. Sorry?
Brendan didn't win a league, though.
Brendan didn't win the league, but at the end of the day, the principle is there, though, isn't it? No one's bigger than the manager. No one's bigger than the club.
No, I agree. My biggest problem, though, is if you did sack Slot over this, what does it say to the next elite manager? Basically, you come in and you can do whatever you want. You're the manager. You're in control
Man
of the
United
team.
all over
We-
again.
we-
Man United
we
all
back
over
you as
again.
an elite manager. But just so you know, if one of your star players is shit and you bench him, there's going to be murder. So it totally undermines the manager.
Well,
It's a nail on the spot, and we'll become a United. We'll
the flip-
become a United.
the other side of the coin is if you start entertaining players of the same player that you gave and rewarded after an all-timer season because you believed it, don't just skim me. What is very, very unfair on Mohamed Salah is we just gave him a contract because we had no choice. And you, at the same time, you utter the same statements as Edwards.
It's a business. It's a business.
It's a business.
Well,
They're
they
ruthless.
not that identical.
Weren't they ruthless in the summer? Weren't they
never
ruthless in the summer?
Yeah, I
So,
think they
you
were.
have it both
Looking
ways.
at it now in hindsight, and I'm not just saying hindsight because I thought he was still absolutely fine, and maybe I'm completely naive in the situation, but I think they did. Looking at the
They
bigger
gave
picture,
him
I
a
think they
contract because they thought that
value.
you can do it for another 2-3 years. Mohamed Salah came out after Old Trafford and said, "You know what? Normally the nerds don't give anyone a contract after after the age of 30." He was surprised himself. He was surprised. But you question the love of the club from Mohamed Salah. He came out. He was desperate to stay. Yeah, he could have earned £1 million a day at Saudi Arabia. It was never about the money. It was never about the money with Mohamed Salah. If it was about the money in regards to Salah, he would have left Liverpool a long time ago.
Yeah,
You
no, but I
don't
think he
know
wants
what
to
the
play at the
Saudis
elite
are.
level.
You can't say it
Sorry?
wasn't about the money. You can't say it was about the money when this was going around for the best part of a year, his contractual talk. So let's not make it as if it wasn't about the money either. He's getting paid very smartly at this football club. Very
And
smartly.
deservedly
Asim.
so. Deservedly so. The guy won us the league. But you can't have it both
But
ways.
don't say,
Avi.
don't
You
yeah, no,
can't
but,
say
no, but don't say it wasn't about the money when it
Liverpool had
was.
no
The
choice.
money plays a big part. Money plays a big part.
Of course it does.
Is it?
Of course it
Is
does.
it? Is it?
The guy was
Is it
getting
as simple?
astronomical offers from Saudi. He was getting offered literally £1 million a day. Something crazy like that.
But he wants to stay at the top level, though, doesn't he? As well, that's the other factor in this.
100%. 100%. Anyway, let's
Come
go
on, read
to
the supers, mate. Otherwise, we never will.
that was added time in first half. Sean, Salah waited until the end of the night and waved goodbye to the UAE support. It lasted a long time. There must be a Klopp. He's gone. Yeah, it's doing the rounds. Our brother Abid, who is always at the game, week in, week out, he put it out. And yeah, you're right, 100%, Sean. It lasted for a good 2 minutes. Waves, hand gestures, everything. And look, Salah knew what he was doing. You make no mistake about it. Shane, thank you so much for your super chat, mate. Can we pick neither in the poll? I don't know what poll the admin has set up. I presume.
Oh yeah, they've put who slide you on Salah or Slot?
Okay. Slot sucks.
82% Slot at the moment.
Okay, I'm surprised about that. But Salah,
No,
based
I'm
on
only kidding. 82% Salah.
Salah sucks and needs to go, but Salah, based on the season, has been abysmal and clearly past it. This was going to come eventually for Mo. He should play once a week as a starter. Jellyhead, thank you so much. I hate this so much. I can't see Salah speaking out like this unless his teammates were okay with it. It's such a horrible situation. This isn't us. Has there been any comments from the players? No,
nothing. Okay. Sabozlai did a post match, didn't he? But this interview's come out after they've gone through the mix zone and after Arnie's done his post match, so there's nothing else been said.
There's some talk about Steven Gerrard is under serious consideration to take over as interim manager. By the way, should Arne Slot be sacked? Matty Gorman, thank you so much, Matty. Very generous super chat. Hope you and family are well. As best as it could be right now, to be honest with you. Mo Salah is a disgrace. By the way, he's Liverpool's greatest player. Kenny, Rush, Hansen, Gerrard, and then Mo Salah is not bigger than Liverpool. He's been stinking the gaff out all season. How dare he come out in that way? Bye, Mo. Where else?
And just to come on that, Matty Gorman, Mohamed Salah is the greatest Liverpool player. He is the greatest Liverpool player. Just want to come out with that.
Shane McGee again, thank you so much. One thing going against Mo is we scored 6 goals last 3 Premier League games, but I think we in the last 2 out of 3 we conceded 3 as well. So it's not all about shoring up the defense if you want to protect or be better defensively. we conceded 3 against Leeds and 3 against Nottingham Forest. So yeah, we scored a few more, but we let in 6 as well. Last 6 Premier Leagues, only 6 goals. Without more Champions League, without more 5 goals scored against Frankfurt. More interviews rough from a leader standpoint. Look, these games, Frankfurt and West Ham, let's be honest, I'd fancy my chances scoring against them. You think Mohamed Salah, if he didn't have a few more chances, in theory, he would have had a bit more space. If the likes of McAllister and Wirtz looked, world beaters against West Ham, don't you think Mohamed Salah would look a world beater against West Ham? I think that's unfair, people. Unks is in the house. Thank you so much. Cheen, for a successful businessman like you, I am surprised you condone indiscipline by the most paid player in Liverpool. Mohamed Salah must leave the team. Bilal, big up Bilal, and may Allah bless his mother, who just recently passed away. May Allah give her eternal peace, inshallah. And that's his mum in the profile. A beautiful picture. Billy, thank you so much for your super chat. I need some water. Evening, I pray you're all well. Didn't want salam alaikum. Evening, I pray you're all well. Didn't really want to engage online concerning football due to personal circumstances, but I had to be here for my brother Mohamed Salah always. Mohamed Salah now, Mohamed Salah then, Mohamed Salah forever. Ethan, in my eyes, Slot has ruined his relationship with this fan base. And I was going to ask this question, but we'll start it. I want to come to you, Avi and Ben, regarding that. Shay McGee, thank you so much. Very kind of you to send your third super chat of the night. 3 games ago, people were saying Slot needed to bench more and find his balls. That's happened. Gakpo is also trash. By the way, defense is a way bigger issue. Unks is back in the house. Mo and Slot must leave. It's not a binary choice. It's time for Slot to leave, time for Gakpo to be benched, and time for Slot to go intolerable. Ruben FC, thank you so much. Absolute cinema movies to blame. Slot Edwards. Big up Jamie, isn't it, people?
Yeah.
Big up, and head over to Jamie's channel, Liverpool Chat. I get confused because it was called Jamie LFC, Jamie TV, and now it's Liverpool Chats. So head over to Jamie's channel and please become a subscriber and show him the love and support that he deserves. Shane McGee again, more going at the end of the year was possibly the plan. Us being dog shy and him being playing terrible could be hurting his value. So club is trying to offload. This is my opinion, effectively. More shorts, X, Ben and Avi lost all respect. And this look, it's going to be, and there's a lot of people having to go at me and Gene, and we have to live with it. It's such a controversial issue, such a so much passion flying about.
Thank you.
Or if we all agreed, we've said that a few times, haven't we?
Just thank him for the super chat.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Look, at the end of the day, we have to put it up. And some people are in it. I think it's probably 50-50 at the moment, considering the chat. So I'm sure there'll be some supers or chats that have
waiting for Indy's tweets.
Slot as Avi's nudes. That's the only explanation.
Keep just sending the super chats. All good.
Unks, thank you so much. We can't pick and choose. Salah was also in the team that came 5th. You should credit the manager too. Of course, whoever says the manager doesn't deserve the credit, and I always hated anyone saying, "Oh, this is Klopp's team. He deserves credit." Yeah, he deserves credit that the squad that he left Slot, and Slot was the first one to say it. But let's make no mistake here. Klopp finished 3rd with that same team the year before, and we added Chiesa and sent back Gio for a loan to Valencia and won the league. So yeah, the manager Slot deserves credit. I think I've read this, haven't I? Mohsin, thank you so much. Gakpo has been awful this season, along with Maka, when neither have been dropped 3 games in a row. Gakpo's, Chiesa, Ekitike, Rio, Sobo, who can play there. And that's what the point I was trying to make, Ben. In Gakpo, in terms of the understudies, there's more understudies to Gakpo than the Salah.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So, and that's what one of the the beef that we have with Slot is you had more options.
We don't have a fucking Jacob Murphy. That's the problem. Goodbye, you big bastard. Jacob Murphy, when you got fucking Mohamed Salah, he's fucking talking Jacob Murphy.
And maybe, you know what? You talk about instigating
Jacob Murphy.
the conversation. Don't you think Salah sat home last night is seeing his manager in front of the world media talk about we don't have a Jacob Murphy profile? Where do Jacob Murphy play? On the right hand side. So you're telling me we're all human beings. You're watching your manager basically call you out. You're
I didn't
telling
see
me
that comment. I didn't see that at
Yeah,
all.
then
So
Jacob Murphy,
you
bro.
fill me in then, yeah. So is that
Yeah,
what he
Ben.
said?
Because we
Yeah.
don't have a Jacob Murphy profile in our team.
So you're telling me
If
Salah's
I'm
not going to
gonna
be hurt by that comment?
Yeah, no, honestly, that's the first I've heard that doesn't add up at all. To be honest, it makes no sense whatsoever, and that is disrespectful because you're basically saying somebody who's nowhere near as good as Salah, even on his off days, is what's called, it's just, that's bizarre. So maybe that was burning a hole inside his head, sort of thing, and that's unforgivable in lots of ways. What's called? Oh, go on. Sorry, you got a few more to go, mate.
Yeah, I've got a few more. I think I've lost track. Yeah, there we are. Talk Trends, thank you so much. He says Edwards rat beef with Klopp and Salah. Shane McGee, more 29 Premier League games since the 4th or 2nd, 25, 8 goals, 3 assists. I don't know how to pronounce that, Avi.
Air, Jay.
Jay, do you think it's likely they both go?
I think
Anything's possible, people. Anything's possible. Wild thing. Well, it looks like they want Salah to go before Salah at the moment. Yes, it's because he's not white. We live this every day with the hate we get. Look at the political and landscape. Sorry, Ben, if this is uncomfortable
I
for
don't believe
you.
that.
No, you know what? I want to address that because me and Jean had a little chat about it before the stream, and I'll be honest, I don't mind saying it. Like I said, do you think that there's any sort of racist instigation or racist connotations in Salah's comments? Because he mentioned Harry Kane, because there's been the stuff said by Carragher a few weeks ago, and Jean said straight away, he doesn't think that is the case one little bit. It's very difficult though, because people will automatically jump to that conclusion. But I think it's really interesting that here's me, middle-aged white guy sat in the middle of a stream with a predominantly Asian-based community channel, but we're friends. We're most of the time. We're debating the subject and the conversation, and it's really deep. It's a deep-rooted conversation, and it probably does need to be had. But at the same time, I don't think Salah's thinking that at all. I think he just wants to play every week. I think he just wants to play. But there is obviously a suggestion that could be, is X treated differently to Y? And nobody really knows, do they? Let's be honest. Nobody really knows. I think money talks a lot louder than colour, if I'm being honest. Mbappe is black. He's the best player in the world. It doesn't make any difference, does it? It's like it's all about money and business. I think at the end of the day, I just think that's the reality of it. But he's going to use every sort of. No, but he's going to say what he feels, isn't he?
But but I think Salah said that because the media have media darlings. Harry Kane is a media darling. Do you understand? He's the England captain. There's certain things, there's certain players. Look, in that the media will always go for certain players. That's just the way it is. But I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't believe this, from a Liverpool perspective, has got anything to do with that. So I didn't really want to talk about it, even though it came up. But for me, nah, man, that I don't buy and don't accept.
No.
Thank you so much, Wild Thing, by the way. No, there's a few more. I'll just quickly run through them. Howard Eggy. This is Slot's game plan. Van Dijk passes to Kanate, back to Kanate. He sees Salah, plays into Gravenberg, back to the centre-back, sends a pass to Kirkes, passes to Gakpo, lose the ball. So predictable. Every team sees this. Not great. Bloody hell. Sounded like a radio commentator there.
That's what your tactic shows, that.
No, I thought we were on the watch along. Sounded a bit like King's commentary. Thank you so much, Howard. Appreciated. Where are we? I keep losing where we are. Here we are. Stefan, big up. Salah is a legend, but there is time for everyone. If Salah doesn't perform, the manager has to make decisions, whether it's Klopp, Slot, or Pep? Scouse will 79. Big up. If there's perhaps players in the dressing room that think they're above Arnie, something is wrong in the dressing room. Matty Gorman again. Are you honestly saying he's better than? Look, I never watched Rush at the very, very end of his career, where he was practically his legs are gone.
Can't say that.
Yeah,
That's why we say Premier League great is, to be fair. And obviously that's
Yeah,
between him and Gerrard.
yeah.
So most
And
people
it's
are
all
doing,
opinions.
yeah.
It's all opinions. You
99%
know,
of the
people.
time we always say Premier
Some
Yeah.
League.
people
we
will say
always say-
Kenny.
exactly.
You know, some people will say Kenny, some people will say Gerrard, some people will say Rushy, some people will say Salah. They're all different in different ways. You know, our greatest ever centre back, some people will say Hansen, some people will say Verge,
Yeah.
you know, Allison
yeah.
compared to what's it called?
Clemens.
It's just opinion, and it's fine. There's no factual answer other than
Yeah.
statistics.
But
It's
what's the
opinion.
fact is, whenever you talk about the Liverpool greats, Mohamed Salah, Rush, Kenny, and Gerrard will be in most people's top five.
Yeah, them,
Yeah.
yeah.
Top five. So
Yeah.
look, whether you have Barnes is another, and you know whether you have them at 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it doesn't really matter. The fact that is they're one of the best players to ever don a red shirt, and that's the point. You know everyone is trying to make. What happens now, people? Do Liverpool react? Avi, you've come back into the stream. What happens now? Tell me.
Well, it's a ugly situation now, isn't it? I had to move my chair, so sorry about that, guys. What's an ugly situation, isn't it now? Salah's come out with the words. I don't know. Obviously, Slot will be pressed on this during the week. If he sees out the week, that is for the Inter game. And look, it will be just surrounded about. It will be surrounding Salah and Salah, which isn't the best situations going into the Inter game. I don't know how it plays out. Asim, I think the club will back Slot on this. And look, maybe Edwards are manoeuvring or ushering Salah out in January. That could be a scenario too. That could be what's being played in front of our own eyes. But at the end of the day, putting everything aside, it's a very, very ugly situation. And we've been here a couple of times now in the last sort of 4 or 5 years. It doesn't really help matters.
No.
Ben, what happens now?
I don't know, mate. I really don't know. Yeah, it's just really, really sad and ugly situation all round. You know, I'd love. One thing I think is interesting is that Liverpool made it crystal clear in the summer. Last summer when they announced Slot that his title was head coach.
Yeah.
And I think they sometimes do that when they're making a subtle comment to say you're in charge of the team and you're in charge of the squad and the tactics and stuff, but you're not a manager. You know, it's more of a model of a director of football. So if you're going to make that statement and you're going to tell Slot that he's the head coach, then times like now, then it's on the director of football to do his job. So I think that Liverpool probably do need to make a statement, or maybe do need to say something. I don't exactly know what they say. If I'm being honest, what did they do? Did they come out and say, right, we're aware of comments that's been made by Mohamed Salah, and we'd like to reassure the fan base that we're doing everything behind the scenes to make sure that everything's good moving forward, or some sort of holding statement like that. I don't know exactly what they would say, if I'm being honest, but I do feel as though, well, if you're gonna. If Slot is just the head coach, then this is probably a time for the director of football, or even Michael Edwards, to say something or make a statement of it, because clearly there's things happening in the background, isn't there? That's pretty clear to see, and there probably needs to be some sort of a statement or some sort of a decision made on how this is dealt with in the next couple of days.
Gene?
I'll be honest with you. I think Chutti. I think it's time to go for both. If I'm honest with you, I think it's time. I think now with the way Salah's come out as well, and the words that Salah's used in terms of the actual somebody's throwing me under the bus, yeah, in the manager, the club, whatever, blah de blah. I think personally, I think it's time out.
Damage is done. But
Well, once I think first and foremost, and I'll be straight, not because of Salah, and everybody knows this. I've wanted Slot out since fucking United game. Yeah, that's the first I've wanted, and everybody knows that. So you can't say want Slot out because of Salah. No, I've wanted Slot out since the United game. Slot needs to go first. Slot go this is what I would want. I want Slot to go first. Bring in somebody else. If he can get a fine tune out of him, fair play. If not, get rid. Salah, get rid of Salah as well. That's the way it
Avi,
is.
Asim,
Avi, I
Asim,
Now,
want
all
to
I'll
ask you a
say,
question.
Asim,
I want
all
to
I
ask
will
you
say,
okay, okay.
Asim, all I will say, and I'll end it with this
Yeah.
in myself. It will be a travesty
Hmm.
if Salah was to go in January and not get a farewell that he so much deserves in front of a cop crowd chanting his name. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I
Can
agree.
I?
Avi, totally.
I think we
I think he
all
gets
agree
that at
with that.
Brighton.
I think
Yeah.
I think we all agree with that.
I
But
think he gets
Avi,
that at Brighton. That there is a reason why Salah came out and mentioned the Brighton game.
Do you think
I
do you
would,
think it's damaging the club's negotiation? Like, because if they make a statement or say, "Oh, they know he's going," do you think they might have already made a deal? You know, they might have literally already made a deal. But it doesn't look like Salah's coming out and saying, "I'm going," and I mean, he doesn't look like he's going yet. So
Ooh.
whether or not the club, like maybe what Asim said, is that they've been negotiating with teams for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's like, well, I'll decide where I'm going, but and the club are like, well, no, we're getting this big offer from Saudi. If you don't want to go, well, that's where we're accepting. And now, okay, well, the only way we can force you out is to bench you, and it feels like that's what's happened. And they've masked it with the idea that he's been poor, and he has. We all know that, but he hasn't been any worse than any of the others. So there's an argument to say that he could have at least started or come off the bench today, but he didn't even come on as a sub today. When it was like he could have put him on for the last 7 or 8 minutes. And I suppose you could also say, in hindsight and playing devil's advocate, well, we've been shouting at Slot for the last few weeks to say all he does is just throw another attacker on, throw another attacker on. And this time he put Endo on instead of Salah because he's trying to protect the 3-2 lead, and we still go and concede. So it's like, from that perspective, he can't win, can he? If he'd have put Salah on and we were chasing the win and we go and concede two and lose, everyone will be like, what the friggin' hell are you playing at?
The
Why
thing
don't you
is,
put a
bro,
defensive midfielder on?
because of that, look, Ben, yes, your point is completely valid, and I understand the point. My issue at that point was of the new it was 2D. He was throwing in left, right, and center players, left, right, and center. As soon as Ben he made that change at that time, right? Honestly, I felt as though we're gonna concede because he's gone negative, well, defensive too early because it was a ping pong game. It was a too much of a
Yeah.
ping pong game at that time, and I actually felt it at the time. I thought, you know what, we're gonna concede. We're gonna concede because
We'll
we.
never know, will we? We'll
I
never
know,
know.
but I just at that time that's how I felt, and we did. And
Mm,
look,
yeah.
I'm not. People can say that I'm a Salah. Yes, I love Mohamed Salah, but Liverpool will always be greater to me than any player. But there's certain ways of going about doing things. If
Yeah.
this was the case, in the case you should have got let him go in the summer. We'd won a title. He could have had an unbelievable send off. He would have gone on a free. We were all happy days. We would have all taken that and gone through a rebuild this summer. Brought in your players, whatever you needed, and we crack on. But they didn't.
Mm,
Then at least back him at least until Jan, or at least give him to
yeah.
the season. But there's
Yeah.
obviously something that's really happened deep down that there's really triggered Mohamed Salah, and this is what it is. They probably have been. He's found out that
Yeah.
they're in talks of getting rid of him, right? And this is the issue why. So because he said, he goes, I asked for explanations, I didn't get anything.
Avi, I want to
Yeah.
ask
I
you a
know.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, Salah's agent knew exactly what Salah is doing
I
tonight.
was just gonna ask
He's
you
gonna
a
come
question
out,
about
mate.
Rami Abbas as well. Go on, you can
Rami's
go there.
coming, mate. Rami's coming.
He's
He's gonna
probably
let
been
them
writing
know
his
that
He
he's
can,
message for
he
the
allowed.
can.
last 2 hours.
But what's Rami gonna do if the club have already
No,
engineered this?
my
Go on,
question is
Asim.
to you. My question is to you that he knew about it. Do you think the likes of Van Dijk knew about this?
I, look, I think close quarters, of course. Virgil van Dijk, Salah, Allison, the old guard. They'll definitely be talking amongst themselves. They'll obviously be deliberating of what's
If
gone on in the last
if
sort of three,
I
4 weeks.
I'm
100%
sorry,
there's been
I'm
conversations.
I'm sorry to interject. If the likes of Van Dijk knew, what would they have been telling him? Don't do it, or more. We back you whatever you do.
I think they would. Well, look, we don't know the ins and outs. It's not as if we know Virgil or Ali personally. I think it would be each to their own. Say what you feel, and let's go from there. I think Virg is with Arne, unfortunately or fortunately for whoever thinks either way. I don't think Virg will down tools or go against the manager. And look,
I
this
don't
is
think
the one. This is the one thing I never wanted from my club: a power play or a power struggle, and looking like United. We know the Mickey Mouse and Disneyland that they and the fairy tale that goes on in that club, and I think this situation is something that could implode, and it could take us a couple of years to get back to where we need to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think Verge knows?
obviously, look, he's not stupid. Verge isn't stupid. Of course, he knows what's going on. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't think Verge was probably agreed with Salah's statement that's come on, but I think he probably his underlying thing is I think he probably agrees with Salah, but he probably doesn't agree with what's happened today. He probably doesn't agree with it being played out in public. Yes, but I think deep down, and I was thinking about this earlier. You know, when this cleared out, when the fuck has Verge ever started playing basketball in his life? He started playing basketball 2 weeks ago. Why?
Mm.
That was, you know, if I actually think about it, I was actually thinking about this, Ben. I'm not saying he did that on purpose here, right? But
No.
yeah, but it
Erratic
just looked
behavior.
really, really weird for him to start playing basketball 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, two other points on that. Sabozlai did the post-match interview, didn't he? The official one, sort of thing, with what's called with Sky, and he said, you know, how is it affecting the dressing room, the recent form? And Sabozlai made a very clear point of saying what happens in the dressing room stays in the dressing room.
Yeah.
So he was making that subtle statement. But then also I was reading stuff before. I don't know if it's confirmed, but apparently Salah didn't travel home with the team either.
I read that
So
as
well. My personal opinion, and I could be completely wrong, but I don't think anyone knew that Salah was going to make that statement to the press. I think he did it off his own bat, personally.
Asim, also Asim, one thing that we not forget, but I want to mention everyone at the club, everyone associated, not Mohamed Salah, not just the rest of the players or the coaching staff or the hierarchy or the data team or John W. Henry. Everyone can take a leaf out of Federico Chiesa. Yeah, best part of 18 months. Can't get a look in. Fucks away in training. Trains. We saw what he did. The lung busting run back against Sunderland. Yeah, didn't even get a minute's game today either. Didn't get a sniff of coming off the bench. Everyone can learn a thing or two from Federico Chiesa.
And I will say as well, sorry,
right.
go on, Jim.
1 second. That Avi, I 100% agree with you that everyone should. But the manager shouldn't disrespect players like that either. When people are giving you, with respect, 18 months of everything, deserve to start, should be starting. Everybody's calling, your whole fan base is calling for, well, not all of them, but a lot of them are calling for him to start. When all the other players, and you're showing favoritism to certain players that have been absolute dog shit, yeah, and you're showing favoritism, then there's a fine line, Avi. A player goes the other way at times. And it's a normal for somebody to react like that. When your manager is showing disrespect, there comes a time where something will come. How long can somebody take?
Can I just ask? Can I just ask? Sorry,
Go
Ben.
on. Sorry, mate.
Can I just ask Asim and Sheen one honest question?
Yeah,
Of course.
Not Salah related. Would you both sell? Would you both get rid of Konate now in the summer?
fucking want him gone in January.
If I get an offer, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Sorry.
Of course.
Yes.
If you get a decent offer,
He's fucking dirty, man.
That's me. That's me done for the night. Thank you very much.
I was
guys.
just gonna, I was just gonna quickly say that, you know, I know evident what's been said and what's been going on, but us as fans, we are fickle as well. You know, I love Salah; he's a legend, and he is a legend. But if all of a sudden in January we go and sell him for 50, 60 million, or dare I say, do a swap deal for Elise, and he goes to Bayern Munich, and Elise comes to Liverpool, the fans won't be like, "Oh my word, I can't believe we sold Salah." They'll be like that because take Kevin De Bruyne, for example. Last year, he's the greatest player that City have had for the last 8 years. I haven't heard one person mention him this season because they're on a new journey, and that's how. And you know what? That's the way it is. That's the way football
100%.
works. One hero comes in and one hero goes out.
Well, you know, look, if we're honest, deep down, all of us know that when Salah signed this contract over this year and next season, Salah's going to be eased out. You know, a new player's going to come in. We want Liverpool to go and sign a Salah replacement. Everybody on this panel will tell you that we want the club to go and sign a Michael Elise, because we know he's towards the end of his career. Go and bring in a replacement now, so then, you know, the transition is easy. That's not the issue, Ben, with
No,
us.
no,
I have no
no. It's the
issue
way
with
to
that. I
do it.
want that.
It's the respect to do it, isn't it? Yeah,
Exactly. There's a certain way of doing things and going about
yeah.
things.
But then, as you say, that way of doing it, you're completely right. But then again, from a business term, it's like if that way of doing it impacts any potential deal, then they'll always think of the finances over the moral side of it and the way of dealing with it, which we as fans think are wrong. But they don't. They're not Salah fans. They're not Liverpool fans.
Yeah,
They
I
run the
get that.
club, don't they? And that's just the reality of it. Unfortunately, there's no emotion in them, is there? They make emotionless
Then
decisions.
I tell you what would be brilliant and poetic justice is if Salah was ever to go to a PSG or Bayern Munich and we meet them in the Champions League final. I wonder who these two boys would be supporting then.
Anji Abi.
Look, this is
Yeah,
not.
कसम से Asim honestly Asim मेरा दिल फट चुका है कसम my दिल फट चुका है आज.
This has nothing to do with being Slot FC or Salah FC. No, it's let's be honest. It's Liverpool's dirty laundry out in the public. It does no one good. Nobody.
No, it doesn't. No.
And we're talking about top 4, top 5 to not sabotage the league, but survive this season. Just
Minimum
to get
requirements.
minimum
Yeah.
requirement, and this is not going to help. It'll be, and you know what? It's Salah. It's made within seconds. It's made worldwide news, and at the end of the day, you know what Slot will be doing now. Will be sat down with bloody Tony Barrett and asking him and rehearsing questions, because that is going to be one crazy blockbuster press conference. You know what? We might even I might apply for that as well. Ben, can you put an
I'll be in there. I'll be stood on the purple bin outside if you want. You know, watching. Dear me.
Yeah, man. We
I think we might do a post. I think we might be
do.
I think it's safe to say we'll be doing a post press conference reaction show after that. After that, I'll book a day off.
Listen. I've got a question for you. Does he make the bench in the next 2 games?
Arne Slot will have Mohamed Salah part of the team against Brighton. He will. He will not be this disrespected. He will not.
If he does not make the squad, Mohamed Salah will be sold in January.
Then get rid of Slot as well. Then get rid of Arne Slot as well. Then get rid of Slot as well. Then
No, that's not
after everything I've said.
We can't get rid of Slot just because of what by leaving Salah. We're getting rid of Slot because he's been fucking shit. That's the truth. I don't want people to think we want Arne Slot out because of this Salah thing. We want Arne Slot out because the fucking team's been shit, not because of Mohamed Salah. Let's get that right.
We got into first on Wednesday, haven't we?
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, it's not
boys. I'm gonna look. It's 3:30. I've not even had a drink yet. Asim, thank you so much. I'm thirsty now.
Take it easy, mate.
All right, later, lads. Wicked, nice one.
I wish it was in Vegas, to be honest.
Nice one, boys. Chin up and head up, and look. Hopefully in the week this can be calmed down. And look, if it is the last game at Brighton, I expect you 3 to be there. I expect him to get one huge ovation, and he deserves it for 90 minutes.
There is no watch along against Brighton.
Okay, I'm going.
I'm there. I'm there. Ben is there. Gene is there.
Yeah, 100% we're there, man.
Sing my heart out for the team, but more importantly for Mohamed Salah. If that is his goodbye, believe you.
My gut feeling now is that I think they might start him against Brighton, but he'll be sold in January.
Yeah, I think
that'll be his last game. I think there will be that.
Yeah, he's going to the UFC, Alex.
And we'll lose 7-3, and Salah will get a hat trick.
What a disaster! I cannot believe we're here, boys. I left the house at 2-0. 2-1 actually, but
we had a game to play. We played a football game. Can you believe it? We've been 1 hour and 20 minutes. We haven't even discussed a fucking football game.
I'm just can't get my head around how I didn't join this team at the beginning of last season and not the beginning of this season.
You're the bad luck,
I feel like I would have had a lot less grey hairs.
Man.
My word.
I'll do some supers before we move to the team. I think there's a few that came through.
Okay.
Delvin, thank you so much. This is the beginning of the ends, lads. I'm speechless, angry and embarrassed. We're in such a major problem at the club. I noticed a few senior players' body language tonight by the end of the game. They were no longer no longer have faith in Slot. Thank you so much, Delvin. Big up. Vasudev Inazi, thank you so much. Our new signings must be wondering What the fuck have we joined? 100%.
Good point.
100%. Salah, Lethan, thank you so much. Salah randomly deleted LFC on all socials a few weeks ago, but back maybe found out about a deal on the international duty. The way he's been treated is disgusting. It's a good point. It's a good point. This just didn't start this week. It's been lingering for about a month or so, hasn't it now?
Yeah, he did delete. I remember.
Do we think? Oh no, go on.
Yeah.
Finish this.
Yeah, yeah,
This
carry
we
on.
never do.
Okay.
Do we think what do we think he definitely goes to Saudi, or do you think there's potentially another European club that would take him?
I
think
Could we do a deal with like PSG or something like that? Something mad.
I think there'll be a Premier League club interested in Mohamed Salah. Whether we obviously would not sell him, but I think Manchester City would come to the table.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be nuts.
Nah, don't even go there.
I don't think they'll get him, but they might tease us. They might entertain, put a cheeky bid in. Don't be surprised.
We could do it. We'll maybe save that for another couple of shows because we can all bets are off now. Everything's on the table, isn't it? If he's available, go on.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
don't.
Can't hear you.
Mike's gone, mate.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, got you.
I don't think he'll end up at City,
No,
but I think Guardiola still has crazy amount of love and respect and admiration for Mohamed Salah.
I wonder whether or not there's a chance that he goes to Bayern, you know, for Ellie, and we get Elise. If that might have been on the cards. Really?
They are not. That team right now is set. They're not. They're going for the Champions League this season.
But they would argue. Could you argue that is the team massively diminished with Salah playing for them in the Champions League as opposed to Elise? I think over the long term and over a period of years, he's going to grow into a better player. But for the right here and the now, would they be tempted? I don't know whether they can afford a salary. That's the problem. He'd have to take a wage cut. Whereas Saudi, they'll pay him what he wants, won't he? But I just don't know whether or not he's ready to drop down to that level. It's almost like he's such a proud man and he knows his level in his head and he knows that he's better than that league at this point in his career. I think he's thinking I can play there for 2 years in 3 years' time or 2 years' time. I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
But I just don't know who else can afford him.
It'll be interesting, but I can't. I think Saudis.
Is there no way it can be saved? If and I am throwing it all out there now because we're all in.
The only way he gets saved is if
Slot goes.
Slot goes.
Stay?
Then there's a possibility that the last days. But I think now the only thing why I think I've struggled to see him staying, Ben, is he mentioned club.
Yeah, he said the club. Yeah.
So when you say the club.
And you know the poll we put tonight is it Slot or Salah, but I think the real question is it club or Salah, isn't it? Because we if we're being honest, we don't think really this is probably all right. Slot's picking the team, but he's not benching the world's best, our best player over the last 8 years without some conversations with the director of football. Surely he hasn't just gone, surprise, I'm not playing him, because I think it's safe to say that if the hierarchy wanted him to start, then there would be conversations about Slot going. But one of my mates has said in one of our groups there, has Salah done this to get Slot the sack? Who knows? Who knows?
And there's a couple of more super chats. Just do them.
Atik, thank you so much. Big up, the one and only Atik. Always in the chat. Always in the chat.
Big ups at this up.
A few dance moves tonight as well from this. I think he still thought he's 3-2. What a mess we are in now. From the heights of winning the league only a few months ago to the situation of today, the club, the manager, players, and fans, we all need to think with a straight head.
Yeah,
wise words.
Always from the king.
Followed by Billy again. Big up. Bilal, I should say. If we find out that FSG, Edwards, and Hughes have sold out Salah, I'm done with this club. slot dropping in, but not Kanate, McAllister, and Gakpo is insane. Salah leaving in January would be tragic, 100%. You know what? It would break every single Liverpool heart if he just leaves through the back door.
Oh yeah, that really would have. Be really sad. That I would hate that. If he's got to go, he's got to go, and we all have to move on, and that's the way the world works. But at the very least, he goes out the front door with his head held high, with the fans' adulation, the same way as Stevie did.
This one I disagree with Indy. I don't think Heitinga is being considered.
Not a chance.
What's the difference between Heitinga and Slot? You're getting rid of Slot and then bringing in BTEC Slot in, who just got sacked out Ajax.
Yeah.
No.
I might swap him with Giovanni Van Bronckhorst because I haven't really seen his name mentioned much. He can have his job back.
He's nearly out as well. So, according, in my opinion, you can forget even the biggest Heitinga fans. I've seen a lot of people wanting him back. I can understand as the number 2. It didn't work out. You can come back in, and we still have a role for you. I can get that. If you're keeping Slot, for argument's sake, I can see that argument. But to get rid of Slot and then bring Heitinga in, that would be laughable. Absolute embarrassment.
No,
that would be.
That would be mad. Yeah.
Abasadev, again, thank you so much. Heitinga as interim, no chance for me. No chance. No chance. Okay.
Yeah.
That was 1 hour 25 of anger, frustration, confusion, all those things. And we didn't even talk about the game. But if you want me to talk about the game, and I've been a big fan of his, I thought if there's a bit of clarity in his game, but he's been absolutely shite all season, just as like everybody else. I believe today Liverpool dropped points not because of the manager. I didn't watch the last 20, 30 minutes because I left it at 2-0. I came down, I saw the tackle. I believe Liverpool lost that game today, drew that game because of Yibu Konate. That was brainless. We were in cruise 100%. Control. We were in cruise control.
Yeah.
Asim,
actually played all right.
Why I don't understand.
We played well, I thought. Actually,
why would you do that? That is the most brain dead donkey like they've called. I just don't understand why you would do that. It's madness.
If we were in a different place mentally as a club and as a team and in a run of form, then we might have been able to tank that mad call and still see the game out at 2-1. But because we're in such a fragile mental state at the moment where any sort of major setback, we fall apart, you knew what was coming straight away. But then I was really quite chuffed with the idea that even though they got it back to 2-2, maybe a few weeks ago, that would have collapsed and we would have got beat 3-2, 4-2, even like we've seen against other teams. But they did rally and they did come back and they did find the will to go back ahead again, which was great to see. And then we go and chip the set piece at the death.
And
it's just self-fulfilling prophecy at the moment. It feels like they're literally shooting themselves in the foot at the moment. And
I can't even go. Honestly, man, I can't even go because yesterday, the crazy thing is, I thought it'd be a draw yesterday, and obviously, but we had the game won, man. I know we were given it was a mistake. We scored from a mistake and all that type of stuff. But end of the day, we took our chances, and
you take it. You take whatever you're given, don't you?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And we got it given. We took our chances. We were in cruise control. And then why would you do such an idiotic thing, man? I flipped on him, Ben, thinking when I was watching the game. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe my eyes, thinking, what is this Dungar doing? It's just literally, honestly, and when we conceded 1, obviously Avi flipped, but still, Ben, we're so like, this team, like you mentioned, this team is so freaking fragile right now. You just knew the second one was coming. And we got the second one, but then we still went ahead and we fucked it up again. So it's twice we effed it up today. We effed it up twice. This is why I called them cowards thingy today, because it was like, it really, really got to me, man. In a way, I say I'm so glad that we didn't do a watch along today. Imagine we went through that. Imagine we went through that today.
I'm in a way, weird way.
Said words I wouldn't have said in all my life.
The Mother Roberts would have been up against the wall.
Honestly, and I'm so glad I didn't do it. I was actually glad, thinking, Ya Allah, you know what? I'm actually glad I wasn't on the
It's not
watch along today,
health
because
actually
you'd have
watch
seen the
along.
worst of me, man.
I'm glad I didn't watch the last 20 minutes. Honestly, you know what? The worst thing is I'll have to go back and watch it, knowing it's coming.
It's mad. It is mad. It literally like flicking a light
How did we
switch.
concede the third goal, Ben?
The third goal, corner.
Yeah. Was it a corner?
Back and then everybody went to the ball, and the Japanese guy was just free at the back post.
Yeah, the back post.
Gravenberch who lost him.
So a direct ball to the back post.
Yeah.
Back post, and then they all went for him. Two of them misjudged it, Canate and Gravenberch, and it just fell to the fella on the back stick, and he just
believe
backed
it.
it in.
Back post, Asim.
And you tapped it in.
Yeah, good
Just
control.
smashed it
Their
in
left
there.
foot smashed it.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's that again is like the first half, nothing really happened. We controlled the game, and it was like, this is just like an Arsenal performance. But the big difference is Van Dijk had an absolute sitter of a header, and he put it wide. And like Gabriel or Saliba this season, they would just took that away, 1-0 half-time, job done, and they wouldn't concede it from the set piece. But that's minus 11, I think it is now on set pieces. So we've not scored a set piece this season, but we've conceded 11. So we're not even like, you know, averaging each other out. We're minus 11, and it's like, and Slot said, even gestured to the team, his gesture from the sideline, it was like, well, what you expect if you defend like that? And as I say, I felt sorry for him a little bit, because it's just like, it's nothing to do with him. That it was just like they completely and utterly just can't deal with these set pieces.
And what we need as well, give the set piece coach a sacker as well.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
If we're getting rid of a few guys, get rid of him.
Yeah, toss him out first, because they've been awful from that perspective. But up until then, when Canate did that madness, give the penalty away, the crowd went up, and then they literally turned into Real Madrid for 5 minutes. But if you look carefully at the second goal, you watch it, Asim, Canate gestures to go to the lad in the Schick into the box, and then he backs off. He backs off because he doesn't want to challenge him. Backs off, gives him some space, and he turns, jinks inside, and smashes it in. And then Canate's throwing his hands up in the air, like saying, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, but Jones, I felt Ben at that time. He did let him come inside
as well.
Too easily, man. Too easily. You know he's the right foot player. Should come inside. He let him come inside a bit too.
But again, that's another example of he's not a naturally defensive-minded player, is he? And he played well, Jones, but he just hasn't got that smell danger sort of style, has he, at all? And it was so annoying, because we basically controlled the game, and I thought Alisson literally had nothing to do up until then, and all of a sudden all hell broke loose. But then they still created a great move for the third goal, and Szoboszlai scored a great goal. Lovely step over from McAllister, brilliant goal, and then they couldn't hang on to it. But yeah, it is what it is. 10 minutes. What's his face put on? Who's the referee? Andy Taylor put 10 minutes up on the board. 9 minutes, and then added another minute, and it was like there was no stoppages for like VAR or injuries or anything like that.
There was VAR, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
When did they get that equaliser?
Huh?
97th minute.
No way.
Last kick, near enough. Mad. And we defended pretty much, like, if you look at the stats, we won more aerial duels. We won a load of 50-50s. We were all right. And it's like, it is just a self-fulfilling prophecy. And
we have to start Hugo Ekitike, mate. I don't give. I want Hugo Ekitike starting every game, boys. I don't care.
Yeah, he looks really sharp.
He looks better. He gets involved. Yeah, and please, may I tell Jordan, guys, please, I'm begging you, don't start Cody Gakpo, because he's fucking shit.
He needs to start playing Ekitike on the left.
Please get rid of the again. I don't know what the guy does for us, man. Does nothing. Absolute nothing, man. And I'm sick to death of him now, bro. Honestly, I'm really at the point where I would literally wanna go absolute crazy at him. I'm sick of him, bro. I'm done with him. He's shit. Kirk has made a few, still won't give it. You know what? I don't understand it.
Generally, the rest of them played really well.
We played decent, and our midfield was decent today.
Yeah. Kirkes was disappointing. I thought he was a bit nervous on the ball generally. He can't pass with his right foot, which is a nightmare. So he can't come inside and then cut a pass inside. But generally speaking, they played well. You know, they did all right. And Leeds will obviously, off the back of that great result against Chelsea, they're probably a little bit knackered, but the crowd was up for it. So it was hostile. And after the first few minutes of Leeds being all over us, I thought we really controlled the game well. But as you say, it's just that fragility when Konate did that absolute chutty tackle. Madness. Right.
Okay, people, we can talk about the game. I'm sure a lot more tomorrow if we feel like it. But yeah, maybe Liverpool put a statement out. Ooh, Fergie time, super chat. Bante is fine. Thank you so much. He says slots passive block can be exploited too easily at times. Leeds was finding the space at the gaps at times. Watch the second goal. His block don't fill me with confidence. Oh, stay tuned, people. Stay tuned. We ain't going anywhere because it's all kicking off. Liverpool statements, managers, emergency press conferences, emergency statements, CVG and Heitinger. It's all popping off over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
We're going to have some
Make
content
sure-
for tomorrow night, that's for sure.
We'll have plenty of content for tonight, tomorrow. Leave it alone. We could do with the show at 3 o'clock in the morning. You never know. Slot might tweet something himself from bed. Slot's not getting any sleep today. Slot's not getting any sleep. So anyway, but look, that's joking aside. It's total heartbreak. Just like what Atik said, from where we were 3-4 months ago. If someone told you this is gonna happen, the player, the old timer season is gonna end like this 3 months after Liverpool lift that Premier League trophy. We can't kick a ball. We're scoring hardly any goals, even though we've got a few in the last couple of games, conceding 1 million, whether it's in set play or set pieces. What an absolute farce. And we find ourselves in one of the biggest messes that, from what I don't know, on and off the pitch. Let's be honest. On and off the pitch. Yeah, anyway.
Another late super chat. Loving it.
Gene,
Big
you are
Gene.
absolute cinema. Plenty of cinema coming by your way.
I wish we were in the cinema at the moment, flipping heck.
I said I just want to win football matches, man. I don't want to be cinema, bro.
I know. Right, gents.
It all changed on Saturday, September 27, 2025. What's Billy on about?
Koi pata nahi.
What happened the
Let me
27th?
We won the
What?
league. We won the league.
Oh,
27th of April.
no,
Oh,
27th.
Was that Jota?
No, 27th of September.
Oh,
Was that Man United?
Might have been Man United. No, this one here. The comment isn't it?
Palace lost.
Freaking hell, I'm pressing the wrong one here. Sorry. This one here.
First loss, maybe.
Uh,
Lost to Palace.
after the 20. Is that what it was? Lost to Palace.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it could have started at any point, couldn't it?
Yeah.
That's the
Okay,
truth.
people, we'll be back. We might even
we'll be back.
do a couple of shows tomorrow, depending as to what
Yeah.
happens. That was the instant post-mortem. We'll sleep on it, and we might come back with a few more different thoughts. So stay tuned. You know what? I don't like asking for likes and subscriptions, but at the end of the day, we're in the world of YouTube, so there'll be a lot of, still nearly 700 people watching. There was over 1,000 people watching, half an hour ago. Smash the like, people, and spread the word, because BNR is growing fast, and we're on the race to 20k. A few more statements will get us there. You never know. But joking aside, it's been a one long night, and I'm sure the conversation will go on and on and on. But until then, we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, and if you can sleep, then you're doing good.
Better man than us or woman.
Exactly. Honestly, I can't even talk anymore. I'm done. Take care. Good night. Bye now.